Good people of YouTube, my name is Spanner. Welcome back to my Warframe guides. On this video, we will talk more about focus. Once again, I would advise you to finish the Second Dream and War Within quests. If you haven't, stop watching right now. You have been warned. On Earth, we have the Plains of Eidolon and its hub, Cetus. On Cetus, you can perform various bounties for the Ostrons, one of its two syndicates. The other syndicate is called the Quills and is available after you complete the War Within and the Saya's Vigil quests. After that, you can come over to this door over here, which will only open when you're in operator mode. This is where the Quills are. These two syndicates work very similarly to the 6 main syndicates we discussed before. You get standing with them, which is used to gain ranks through a sacrifice of items, which unlock more items you can purchase with standing. You can see your current standing and your standing daily cap by going to your profile page. The main difference about these syndicates is that you can't gain standing passively by equipping sigils. You get standing with the Ostrons by doing bounties, and you get standing with the Quills by giving them sentient cores. More on that in a little bit. Once you have access to the Quills, you will gain full access to your focus school trees. This makes all nodes available to you. You will also get your first amp, the Mote Amp. An amp is an operator weapon that will change the way your void beam functions. All amps must be built by acquiring the required parts from the Quills and building them, which require several resources you can only get from the plains, including fish parts from fishing and gems and ores from mining. Blueprints to refine gems and ores are available from the Ostrons, so don't neglect your standing with them if you want to build amps. To build an amp, you need 3 parts: a brace, a scaffold, and a prism. The prism affects your main fire mode and changes how your void beam works. The scaffold adds an alternate fire mode, and the brace adds some effect to it, like critical chance or a larger energy pool. You can mix and match them to make the type of amp you'd like. When you have the 3 parts, just go to the Quills and they will craft your amp. After crafting the amp, you can't change its parts, so make sure it's what you want. Like everything else in the game, the amp also gains affinity. This affinity is only gained while in operator mode, either from your kills or other players. When it reaches rank 30, you can guild it. Guilding requires rank 3 with the Quills. Just talk to them and select other services, and you'll see the guilding option. Select the amp you want guilded and it will be reset to rank 0, but it will be enhanced, gaining better stats and the ability to install a focus lens and an arcane. Arcanes are items you can install in an amp that will add a bonus effect to it, and you get them from the Quills. You can also name your gilded amp and recolor it. All affinity you gain with the gilded amp will count towards your mastery rank, as long as you haven't leveled another amp with the same prism before. I've mentioned that to gain standing with the Quills, you need to give them sentient cores. These can be acquired from the plains at night. There are multiple tools to find out the current time in the plains, so I leave a link to the one I use in the video's description. During the night, small enemies known as Vomvalists appear. They have a physical form and an energy form. After the physical form is defeated, they will switch to the energy form for a while. They can only be defeated while in energy form and only by using your operator. When they die, they may drop an intact sentient core. This is worth 100 standing with the Quills. It's not much, but there are 2 other types of cores which reward more standing: exceptional and flawless. But to get them, you must defeat an Eidolon Teralyst. Teralysts are huge hulking bosses that only appear during nighttime on the plains. You can either kill them or capture them. Capturing a Teralyst will grant you more rewards. During the night, Eidolon lures will appear in Grineer camps throughout the plains. To get one, just attack them until they fall to the ground a little bit and are defeated. Then you can approach them and hack them. After that, they will follow. These lures must then be charged by killing Vomvalists. If you kill a Vomvalist that is close to the lure will absorb it and gain 1 charge. You can also kill Vomvalists which are not in the range of the lure, but then you must pick up the blue energy orb that they drop. When you pick it up, you start glowing blue, and when you touch the lure, you will transfer the energy to it. This also gives the lure 1 charge. You can see the number of charges a lure has by the amount of glowing blue lights it has on. Once all 3 lights are on, the lure is fully charged, so you will need to absorb the energy of 3 Vomvalists to fully charge a lure. You will need 2 lures to capture a Teralyst, and both of them need to be fully charged. To start fighting the Teralyst, first you need to find it. After you enter the plains, you may see a blue glow somewhere in the distance. This is where the Teralyst spawns, so go there and find it. If you can't see the blue glow, then you will have to roam the plains a little bit until you find the Teralyst. The Teralyst has shields and armor. The first thing you need to do is destroy the shields. This can only be done in operator mode, so switch to the operator and just use your void beam. Only when the shields are destroyed can the Teralyst itself be damaged. On its 4 limbs you can see the Teralyst's weak spots, called synovia. These can be destroyed with your weapons, 1 at a time. Once the first one is destroyed, the Teralyst will drop an exceptional sentient core, and will unleash a massive energy pulse which will damage and drain your energy. Just go into the operator's void mode to avoid the damage. Then the Teralyst will teleport away. If, however, you have a fully charged lure nearby, it will tether to the Teralyst, preventing its teleportation. The Teralyst will then regain some of its shielding and the fight will resume. Just continue to destroy the shield first with the operator and then one of its synovia. The Teralyst is weak to radiation damage, so make sure to use that for best results. Besides damaging attacks, the Teralyst has an ability that makes Vomvalists that are close by link to it and regenerate its shield, so make sure to also kill Vomvalists that get too close. Once the 4th synovia is destroyed, the Teralyst will fall to the ground, but this time he will not use that energy pulse. The Teralyst will then begin to heal by absorbing Vomvalists that get too close to it, so destroy any that appear. Finally, the Teralyst will get back up with no shields this time, so just fire away and defeat it for good. If you have no lures tethered to the Teralyst, you will gain an Eidolon shard. This is a resource used to craft gear from the Quills like hemp parts. The same will happen if it's only tethered to 1 lure. If the Teralyst was tethered to 2 fully charged lures when it was defeated, you will get more cores, including a flawless core and also a brilliant Eidolon shard. This is the only moment where you need the 2nd lure charged. You only need 1 tethered lure to prevent the teleporting, but you need the 2nd one to get all of the rewards. You can then leave the plains and enter again to defeat another Teralyst until the sun rises. Once the sun rises, the Teralyst will go away and all lures are destroyed. Speaking of destroying lures, make sure you keep them alive during the fight, as they can be destroyed by enemy attacks. You can also tell a lure to follow you or hold position. Just make sure they're close enough to the Teralyst to tether it. This is the main way to acquire cores to gain standing with the Quills. But these brilliant Eidolon shards you get from this fight can be used in your focus schools. They can be converted into 25,000 focus each for the school you want, as long as you have it unlocked. And they can also be used to unlock waybound nodes. Remember on the focus video where I said you can have only 1 focus school active? Well, there are special nodes called waybound that when unlocked become available to all other focus schools. This is very expensive to do, as it requires 1 million focus points besides the brilliant Eidolon shards. And this concludes the video about amps and the Teralyst. I think this pretty much covers all the main mechanics that exist in the game so far. I'll probably make some more videos, but I'm not really certain of what topics to cover. I have a few ideas, but if you want, you can leave me some suggestions in the comments below. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.